episode is going to go like we plan. Sometimes we got to re-record. Sometimes we just cancel and try another day.
Nothing ever works out.
But it's fine. You want to talk about our first topic?
Favorites of the week? First of all.
Sure.
First of all, I'm Madison.
I'm Alex.
And my favorite of the week is Sims Cottage Living.
Yeah!
I have been playing Sims with Cottage Living nonstop.
As have I.
I don't usually do Sims with real life people, but I created a Sims world of me and my boyfriend. And we have 2 children, Monroe and Silas. Monroe went to high school and came out as gay. And Silas is just a little bitch. Like, all the time, he's just a little bitch. Sorry, Silas.
I created a lesbian house where one of the lesbians got divorced from a man and had, 4 children with him, and they all moved in with the stepmom, and now they live on a big, happy farm.
No, that is a Brady Bunch.
We love a dynamic.
Okay. What topic did you want to do?
I haven't done my favorite of the week.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was your favorite. Okay, go ahead.
No. My favorite, we tried this when we recorded this last week, Miss Witchfoot.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We love her. I was going to talk about her in episode 2, but I wanted to ask her permission. And the reason I wanted to ask her permission is because she is scary as fuck. And if she didn't want to be talked about, I sure ain't fucking talking about her.
She is terrifying. She's scary.
But she's she makes her boundaries very clear. But she had just went private on one of her TikTok accounts that day. And I was like, hey, just want to make sure, there's nothing that you don't want talked about, or if you don't want to be a topic at all. And she was like, no holds barred. So this one is for you, Miss Witchfoot. You are the shit. She uploaded a video where she was like, this account is private and you all have been marked. So if you wake up with a circle bruise, you're fucked. And when the last time we recorded this and I talked about her, I woke up the next day. It wasn't a circle. It was kind of a circle, but it was a little tiny bruise on my leg. And I was like,
nah, you're cursed.
I was like, Witchfoot, please. I didn't say no. I love you. Don't do this. What about what we had?
When Alex initially brought up Witchfoot, I was like, oh, I don't really like Witchfoot. And then she wanted her permission to talk about her on the podcast. So I had the podcast account follow her. And then I was looking through her content when she accepted our follow request. And I was like, I don't know why I ever disliked her.
Yeah,
she's truly just vibing.
I feel like people, most of the time, when they don't like her, it's like a simple disagreement about a topic it's really not that serious. Or it's like people purposely misunderstanding her. And it's just so ridiculous. I log onto that app every day, and Witchfoot is just, dragging someone to filth. And it's so funny. Oh, she doesn't give a fuck. She truly doesn't. And you know what? Her zodiac sign? Scorpio.
She's a good Scorpio representative. I feel like when I first found out about Witchfoot, I was so embroiled in, anything Witch Talk came out with, whether it was correct or wrong information. And every time Witch would be like, actually, that's not safe to do as a witch. This, that, and the next thing. And I'd be like, I don't want to listen to Witchfoot, blah, 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 blah. And then I looked at her content, I'm like, she's literally just going out into an alley and finding maple leaves to use in her practice.
Yeah,
she's just vibing.
She doesn't really do much that I would be offended by, or that's I don't agree with everything she says. But, people really take it far. And then they get surprised when she retaliates. She'll say, I don't give a fuck. If I curse you, your pet's probably gonna die.
And that's on them.
And that is on you, bitch. And that is your fault. You know what? If I die and it's by Witchfoot hands, she caught me slipping.
Truly.
She caught me slipping.
Honestly.
I fucked up.
Death by Witchfoot.
How many people have had death by Witchfoot?
I think too many.
Well, now that we've done our favorites of the week, guess what we gotta do?
What do we gotta do?
Take a little fucking break.
Oh, he's here.
My fiance is here.
That's okay.
We're not trying to have him be in the podcast. Love you the most, but This is me time.
Honestly, when we first started talking about having the podcast, he's like, I'd love to be a guest.
And I'm like, no.
No.
So we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome. Sorry, I'm trying to get into my...
Welcome back to the most dysfunctional podcast possible. Are you good? There we go.
Why do you ask questions when you know the answer?
She's got it.
We're here.
We're here. We're queer. Let's get into our first topic.
Yeah.
Second topic.
What is it? What is it?
Our TikTok. Hi, besties from the TikTok.
We've gotten some insane love.
It's honestly fucking crazy. We got like 1,000 followers in a week.
It's fucking whack. And 75 subscribers.
We love every one of you. We said in the first episode, like, we'll see what happens. I was expecting like 10 subscribers at the most by this point. Not 75.
100 subscriber giveaway. We're giving away a Tesla.
I feel like all of those like giveaways are low-key scams.
I saw a video I was watching at Zach Beal. He's fucking hilarious. He was live streaming and I was watching his live stream of him playing scary games. And he was, at the end of the stream, he was like, let's watch a YouTube video. So he watched a YouTube video of like an animation making fun of David Dobrik. It was like, I got you a Ferrari or something like that. And the dude in the passenger seat of his Tesla was like, I can't make these payments. The insurance is crazy. It's a sports car. I can't, like, I'm in debt. It was
like so not realistic.
It was so funny.
We were gonna talk about some of the comments that we got on the podcast because some of these had me dying. First of all, I'd like to say when we talked about Libras on our TikTok, the only Libras who would not admit that they cared about how other people perceive them had Capricorn placements.
I have a screenshot compilation of my favorites. So I captioned that video, Libras, feel free to fight in the comments, and fight they did.
Oh, they did.
They did. They fought. Do you want me to go down the list of my favorites?
My personal favorite was when they said, I don't have a problem with how I'm viewed, and then proceeds to have a problem with how they're viewed.
Yeah, it's the whole energy of that comment section is like, I don't have an issue. Fuck you guys. Like,
and
it sounds like an issue.
Some of them were like, yeah, like, just admit to it. It's fine.
Every comment in that comment section proved my point.
Especially you with Capricorn placements. I'm a Capricorn moon, and I'm calling y'all the fuck out. Can you quit lying to yourselves? Can you get in touch with your emotions and quit lying to yourselves? Because that's exactly what's happening. Because I'm a Capricorn placement, and let me tell y'all, some of you were real butthurt in those comments, and you need to calm down.
Some of y'all were mad.
Upset.
It was so funny. Just like...
Read some of your faves.
Okay. Somebody made a comment about having a Leo moon, how hard it was to fish for compliments, and somebody responded to that, Girl Sam, but I'm gonna need you to lower your voice a lot.
Don't expose us.
I've been seeing so much Libra hate today, as we should.
Self-aware.
3 comments that I screenshotted about Libra moms.
Oh, that's a topic near and dear to your heart.
As somebody with a Libra mom, none of my statements were wrong.
No, if anything, she was the blueprint.
She was the blueprint. Somebody commented, my mom's a Libra, and she's 100% always worried about what other people think. Patricia, we are poor in a poor town. Can I just look like Adam Sandler for once?
My stepmom is a Libra, and she does that. Meanwhile, she has, like, 6 fucking kids in, like, 8 years, and it's like...
It's just...
You're really working with everything you got, you know?
Them 7th house placements be struggling for validation. It's too sad. It's too sad to watch.
It's like a car accident. You just gotta look away.
So real, but my Leo rising just knows she's bad, so it's an internal battle. As somebody with a Leo rising.
Truly are the most generous, but they still think they're better than you.
And that's on my cheating Libra ex-boyfriend.
I'm not surprised that a Libra placement would cheat.
Hey, Mom.
Ooh, I didn't realize. Ooh, that full circle, babe. Full circle.
I have 6 placements in Libra, and this is true. We're praying
So you
for
can never make a decision?
We're praying for you.
We truly, 1 like equals 1 prayer for that. What's their username?
Elder Millennial Lady.
You truly are Libra placements. You millennial that. Okay.
Go
ahead.
I just love the as a Libra comments. All of them are just like, as a Libra. This is one screenshot. Somebody said, as a Libra, no. And then right below that, as a Libra, yes.
Exactly. They can never make up your minds.
Somebody just commented, doesn't resonate.
They for sure have some Taurus placements. It doesn't resonate comment. Just keep it simple, to the point.
In succession. Yeah. Yes. And yeah. Word. And then in the middle of that, somebody commented, Jimin from BTS.
Where the fuck did you get that? Is he a Libra?
Probably.
I don't fucking know.
Somebody just said, shut up.
Yeah. I would want us to shut up too.
Somebody said, fuck, dude, I'm sorry I am the way I am. I'm putting my fishing gear down. And when somebody commented, the 2 white girls starts a podcast trend is still going on. Yeah.
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 Yeah. It is. Sorry about it.
Somebody got into an
God damn, they just fucking... Not our comments reading us for filth. We love you.
It's
sending our love.
Funny. Somebody got into a whole, like, comment thread argument. They said, didn't ask, and everyone is different, even if they're the same sign.
Yeah, you have all the influences of all the signs in your chart. We're not saying that. We're saying specifically, like, Libra Big 3, specifically Libra Suns.
And then somebody clapped back, why are you pressed if it doesn't pertain to you? My mother...
Who clapped back?
I own 3 cats.
First of all, I hope your 3 cats live a very long, healthy, happy fucking life because
Prosperous.
you're an icon.
You're an icon. My mother is a Libra. My mother.
Lots of mommy issues in our comments. I see our demographic.
Mm-hmm. And then somebody just posted the standing emoji.
Just, it's this.
It is.
I have like 2 comments from the YouTube that I liked. I appreciate all the comments from the YouTube. When people are like, I came from TikTok, I would literally pull up the YouTube video and see a couple new comments and just be like, yeah, like just scream internally to myself.
We got our first YouTube comment and Alex FaceTimed me, just screaming. And
But yeah, I love comments.
It was great. I love it.
So Katie, I'm not gonna say your last name, said, this is hysterical, will in fact be helping me get over J&J podcast death. High praise.
High praise.
High praise.
We miss Jenna and Julian. We miss them.
Well, Julian's still on the internet, but Jenna, I understand why you left, but holy shit.
Yeah. I miss him.
Hole in my heart.
It's a hole in my heart.
This is my top favorite comment. This podcast is like if the song Could I Interest You in Everything All of the Time was 2 people. First of all, not the name of the song, but I get what you're saying, and I appreciate it, and that is true.
We've gotten, yeah, I love that. I love that. And I love this.
I love you. I love you guys. What the fuck? These comments had me cackling.
It was so fucking funny. I see the Hayao Miyazaki screenshots in your photos.
What? Oh.
Alex has been introduced to Ghibli movies as of this summer, and she sent me, like, this meme of Hayao Miyazaki just being Hayao Miyazaki, but
so funny.
But connected to, like, zodiac placements, and she sent me her big 3 as Hayao Miyazaki memes. And I was like, do you know who that is?
Nope, sure didn't.
Man came out of retirement to work on this next Ghibli movie. He truly said, we're here to win.
So, while we're on the topic of zodiac signs.
Sorry, besties. We had audio problems in the last failed podcast episode, and we just had to check our audio.
We're fucking trying our best, alright?
We're trying our best. Listen, these mics were $30 each, and we're recording on my iPad. I'm sorry not everything can be up to TMG podcast extremes.
So, speaking of the signs as fantasy book tropes. We did this last time we recorded, and it was super fun. And I think it was very accurate, and I'm a very good judge. So, first we're going to go in order. Aries, the lucky novice, just absolutely gets lucky in everything they do, but at the end they do have to prove themselves. You have, like, one challenge in life as an Aries, and it stresses you out.
I do think Aries typically are pretty lucky people.
Yeah, they're just, like, they're literally the fool from the tarot deck. They're just bounding through life, trying their best, living their best life.
Living, thriving, being. What card are they? Aries.
The Fool.
Are they the Fool?
Yeah.
Oh.
The beginning. Taurus is a recluse who has to come out of their cabin in the woods to save the world. And they're not happy about it, but they're going to do it anyway because, you know, Tauruses are usually pretty straight-laced. Depends on your placements, but usually that's their reputation, is they're pretty straight-laced, but they will absolutely fuck you and anybody up that makes them angry, that pushes them too far.
I find that the Taurus placements tend to fight with whatever is in your Mars.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an internal conflict a lot of the time.
Yeah, so they're the person who's just trying to live their life in their cabin, and then someone comes and is like, we need you, and they're like...
The true hobbit.
Yes. Gemini, we thought of our local Gemini when I did this. The pirate who's mainly there for the adventure, but will still steal from you.
Listen, I'm moving in with him. And he, 100% of the time, permanently vibing.
Permanently vibing.
He sent me
but will use their resources.
He was at his friend's house, and I guess his friend still lives with his mom, currently. And he was, chilling with my friend's mom, and she was shit-faced drunk, and I was like, MILF. And they were just hanging out, all of them together, and I was like...
Of course they were.
He's... Anything... I love Geminis. Geminis are so fucking funny.
Cancer can speak to animals. I feel like that's very self-explanatory. Cancer is the sign of, empathy, being able to relate to other people, emotions. Yeah.
They
the
are
moon.
The water sign of all water signs.
Yeah, truly, Cancers can speak to animals. Leo, usually they're the chosen one, right? But that was a little boring, so I went with kind of that theme, the prophecy.
Yes.
No one knows who it is until the prophecy starts coming true. And then the Leo comes out and is like, hey, what's going on, guys? I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to try my best.
I'm vibing. I'm here.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Virgo, the alchemist.
I feel so honored to be the alchemist, to be honest.
Truly just making your potions, but your potion might be the one that saves humanity. We love that.
My aqua moon says, humanity? Yes!
Libra, cursed beauty. I know we had a lot of shit talk about Libras, but we love you sometimes.
This is a Libra tolerant podcast.
We'll tolerate you, I guess.
We'll tolerate you, I guess.
If you're a Cancer, hit the door. Hit the door. No, if you're a Cancer man, just exit.
Sit in the back seat.
Yeah. Never speak. Never open your mouth. If you're a Cancer woman, we love you.
Oh my god, Cancer women are great.
Cancer non-binary.
Passenger
Cancer man,
seat.
you gotta get the fuck out of my face. You gotta get out of my face because I can't solve your mommy issues. Okay. Scorpio. Yes, I did think of Miss Witchfoot when I did this.
Yes, ma'am.
Avenging their dead family or friends. They would be the one whose, daughter gets killed or something. Or, their, parents get killed in some sort of way. And they have to hide out their whole lives. And their whole lives, they're just thinking about avenging their dead family. And then when they do, they, go out in a fire of glory.
I love that for Scorpios. I have a love-hate relationship with a lot of Scorpios. Because I feel like I'm always, stepping off on the wrong foot with them.
I feel like Scorpios always have an alternative motive to what they're doing. To what they're saying to you. That's just the vibe I get. You're never going to know their true intentions. Shrouded in mystery. They'll tell you their whole fucking life story. But to know, their true intention of their, relationship with you, you're never going to know.
Never gonna know.
It could be good, but you just don't need to worry about it.
You gotta take it one day at a time with the Scorpio.
You truly do. Sagittarius, The magical artifact. They find the magical artifact because they're just gallivanting through the fucking woods.
Always on accident.
Always on accident. Just finds it. I guess I have this now. I guess this is my responsibility now. The only way you can get a Sagittarius to take, like, an immense responsibility on is if you just throw it on them by surprise.
Listen, my boyfriend, Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, Mercury, Venus, and I think Mars. I think most of his shit's in Sagittarius. And there's only, like, 2 things in his world that he takes 100% responsibility for, and that's because he has to, and, like, there's no way out of it. But everything else, he's just like, I took a walk.
It's like, it's just fun being here. I'm just alive.
Literally,
you know?
when he was at his thing in another city, he's like, I want to go to the bars, but I can't find a bar, so I'm just walking through the university campus. I was like, how did you find yourself there?
He's gonna go make, like, 5 new friends in a city that he's never been in.
Yeah, he's just vibing. He's like, and then I can fully expect it out of, because, like, you can tell when somebody has a lot of Sagittarius placements, because then they'll be like, oh my god, magic artifact.
Also, horse face. Sagittarius risings.
Risings.
Y'all kind of look like horses, but in a beautiful way. We love horses. Sorry. Anyway,
No, that's correct.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry that my opinion is correct. Capricorn is the secret heir, and I am especially proud of this one because I feel like it is the most accurate, and no one can argue this. Capricorn would be the secret heir of the throne, who everyone is doubting, and then as soon as they take that throne, girl,
Bitch,
boss,
they take
gatekeep, gaslight. They will, oh my god, they'll set the bar, like, above what anybody else has done.
Honestly.
Give them power. Oh, they'll shape it to have more power. Like, that's, we love Capricorn.
Scary.
Capricorn,
Capricorns kind of scare me.
they should. They really should. Capricorns, like, I think the symbol is, like, the goat, or, yeah. I
The
think
water goat?
Water goat. They are stubborn. If they hate you, you will never, ever get out of that box. And the only reason you can with me is because my Gemini rising can't keep on a subject for more than 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
So, you get lucky with me.
Have you ever interacted with a goat, though?
Yes, and they're dicks.
They're dicks, but in one of my courses, I had to flip a goat onto its back. And truly, like, with goats and sheep, if you flip them onto their back, or, like, on their ass to shear them or something, they literally just, like, vibe. They just sit there.
My mom's friend had a goat named Bruce Lee, and he was just the worst. And I don't know why they had a goat, because I really don't think they knew anything about goats or goat care. He was just kind of tied to a fence and got some food, and I don't even know where he slept. My childhood was fun. Aquarius, me. I really didn't want to do this, but it's the only one that I feel is appropriate for Aquarius. Rebelling against a dystopian society.
Yeah, you might have seen that coming, but it's accurate.
I'm not going to go with things that just are there for the sake of being there. They're going to be accurate. Aquariuses would be the person that's like, this, not working for me. Not working for me.
Not working for us.
Yeah, not working for us. We're done. And then they would get a whole group together and be like, gonna go overthrow the government. Like, that would be an Aquarius vibe for dystopian
Just,
society.
like, taking Instagram photos on top of fucking the Capitol
Katniss
building.
Everdeen kills President Snow and then takes a selfie on it. Hey! Pisces, last but not least. Well, no, last, but... We'll see if you're least. You have yet to prove yourselves. The mentor. And the reason you're the mentor, everyone could potentially think you're crazy still, but it takes that one person to take you seriously and to take the lessons that you could give them, and it'd still be valuable. But maybe you should ground yourself in reality just a little bit more, and you would have more credibility, but it's fine. We appreciate you and your wiseness and your spirituality and your head up in the clouds. That's why you're the mentor. The kooky old man.
Kooky old man. Kooky crazy. Have you been up to date with the Olympics?
No. Except for Sha'Carri getting kicked off, and that's when I was like, I'm done.
Sydney McLaughlin, she broke 52 seconds by getting 51 flat in the 400-meter hurdles, and I only want to bring this up because she did it. She's the first woman to do that. Mm-hmm. And she did it in mascara, perfect eyeliner, and her nails done.
I can barely do a podcast with mascara, perfect eyeliner, and nails done.
She did it, and I was in shock, because, first of all, I like to think I'm a little athletic, but I'm not a good runner, and to see someone to just fucking destroy the other competition like that, I just wanted to shout her out. Like, she needs a shout out, but...
Yeah, we're like, we have, 75 subscribers, and it's going completely to our heads.
Yeah, honestly.
Just, shout out to you!
But the Olympics have been wild. They've been cool. I like the Olympics. I like watching the Olympics. I have never felt more patriotic than watching the USA just, dominate a competition. The other countries are doing great, though.
You want to get into the shit of this podcast?
Which shit?
These two shit bags on my notes here?
Yeah,
Which one do you want to go first, Jeff or James?
Jeff.
All right, Mr. Bezos, it's time for you to exit the podcast if you're watching, because I'd like to not have you as an enemy. Just
I fully expect Jeff Bezos to have, an AI scanning all media for his name.
Don't kill me, please. I am going to make fun of you and your stupid fucking hat, though, that you wore to go to space.
See,
you wore an Indiana Jones hat to go to space.
See, this is my thing. We were talking about it, and I didn't think about it until... Because we talked about it on the last podcast. Mm-hmm. And I went home, and I was thinking about what we recorded. And I was thinking about this Jeff Bezos conversation that we had. And I thought, in 50 years when we have children and we have grandchildren, they ask us about Jeff Bezos going to space, because this is a pretty monumental point in history, we're going to be sitting there talking about his dumb fucking hat.
And his comment saying that Amazon workers and customers paid for his flight. Yeah, we fucking know. You didn't have to say it. You didn't need to make it clear. We knew. That's kind of one of those things that it's a non-spoken. Yeah, you probably should just shut up. So just going into the details of this flight, because I took notes, mama. I did my research. They paid $20 to $28 million for a flight that was only 11 minutes long. This is the first totally automated ride to space with passengers. This company, Blue Origin, is going to start selling tickets commercially soon, and they'll probably have regular flights going next year, is what they said. And these tickets are going to cost $300,000 to $400,000. Thoughts? Do we fucking have any at this point? Because this feels like I'm in a dystopian society. This feels insane.
Listen, yesterday I had to pay my first month of rent. That was $430 out of my bank account. And I looked at my bank account and I was like, damn.
And that's not even bad rent.
No, not even bad rent.
We live in the Midwest. That's not bad for the Midwest.
Especially for the city that I'm living in, that's pretty damn good. And to look at my bank account and be like, I fucking had to pay rent. Now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna pay the next month's rent, how I'm gonna balance all my money. Yeah. Just for him to go to fucking space for 11 minutes?
The only person I like who was a passenger on that flight was an 82-year-old woman who previously got kicked out of when the Women in Space program got shut down in the 60s or 70s. She didn't get to go to space, so she finally got to go to space.
She deserves it.
But Jeff Bezos went with his brother and some kid who took a ticket from a man who, the ticket was resold, obviously, but this man had a scheduling conflict and couldn't go to space.
What were you scheduling? What is so
more important? What is more important than going to fucking space? Truly. Did you have a dentist appointment? You couldn't have... Your cleaning was that important? I don't understand.
Were you dying of a organ failure?
Imagine being that rich and being like, I don't feel like going to space that day.
I'll just go next year when Jeff decides to do it again.
Yeah, truly. They're going to have the opportunity to do it next year.
And here's what got me so good is the fact that he was 18 and he's just In space.
An 18-year-old just got to go to space for no fucking reason other than the fact that his dad is rich.
That goofed my gump so hard because I'm 19 and like I said, I'm trying to figure out in my mind, excuse me, boop boop beep boop bop, how am I going to pay rent?
Meanwhile, Blue Origin has already reached $100 million in private sales.
We're going to see David Dobrik in space and it's going to piss me off.
Oh, it's going to... If I see... The first influencer I see in space... I'm done. Controversial take in regards to this topic. Humans should never have been able to have the power to go outside of our planet and look down on where we live.
I would argue no human should do that. But also, if you work your ass off to get to that point and you study the works and you do all this, that, and the next thing and you finally get to space, go to space.
No, I'm talking about, like, generally, humanity should not have had this power yet.
I don't know why billionaires have to have this power when, people are starving on Earth.
Yeah, and most of the time, like, being an astronaut has to have an immense amount of privilege because I'm sure the schooling for that is not cheap.
It is. Oh, it's everything. It's the schooling, it's the physical assessments.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being a pilot. Being a pilot, you have to be a certain height. You have to be in a height bracket.
And the funniest part of reading this article was when they were like, Blue Origin worked for a year to get the ticket prices lower so that not just the super rich could go to space, but regular rich people could go to space. Thanks so much.
That's what we needed. Mm-hmm. That's what we needed.
Yeah, no, we needed the flights for space to be cheaper. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they paid $20 million for this flight that was 11 minutes long. Most astronauts get, like, nauseous and disoriented their first time in space. So they paid $20 million to be launched in a rocket up into space and to go be nauseous and disoriented for a few minutes, see the fucking planet, and then go back down. Space is cool, but not worth it.
For all intents and purposes, 11 minutes in space is a pretty long time. But this just feels like a smack in the face. This fucking 18-year-old homie's, deciding what college to go to, and he's just beep boop bop in space?
I feel like 11 minutes isn't long enough to, like, understand what you're seeing. Like, you get a glimpse of space for $20 million, and y'all are willing to pay that. Of course, Jeff Bezos is willing to pay it.
Oh, that's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah,
It is, I feel so poor hearing you talking about it.
It made me so mad reading about it because the science of it is so interesting. Like, I wrote down, it takes 3 times the force of gravity to get up into space. Like, imagine the amount of, like, force that those rockets are putting out. Mm-hmm. Like, that's insane. And crazy opinion, astronauts should probably be the only ones in those rockets, huh? Shuttles, whatever you call them. Probably.
People doing scientific work to help us get to Mars?
Yeah, maybe that.
Whack. Wild.
No, let's waste the $20 million on spending 11 minutes in space that you were probably got, like, nauseous and disoriented for half of.
I'm getting so mad thinking about that 18-year-old. Because what if he comes down and he Snapchats like, just got the space? I'm already mad. I'm already pissed.
Okay.
If I find you and you are just hanging out, I'm going to beg for money.
I'm going to beg for money? No, I'm going to fight you. Madison will beg you for money, and we're throwing hands.
I'm begging you for money, and then Alex will come from the shadows.
Yeah, like a ninja.
Like a ninja. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Have you seen the clowning on the movie Old? As of late?
On the movie what?
Old?
No, I don't even know what it's about.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
I already know this is about to be so fucking complicated.
Literally not. They're on a beach and they get old. Like, every half hour is, like, 7 years.
Oh, that fucking movie where the teenager gets, or the, like, kid turns into a teenager who turns into an adult who, like, gets pregnant.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It came out, and people are clowning it for how bad it is.
I couldn't imagine it's good. Mm-mm. Could you... I wonder how long he like meditates to access the DMT in his brain, because truly that's the only way that you could think of those movie concepts, is if you meditated long enough to like unlock the DMT in your brain. And,
It was
like,
based
get
on
high.
something else. It was based on like a comic or a graphic novel.
Or you steal from other creators. Not stealing. I'm sure you give credit, but
Yeah, he gave credit.
not
whatever.
original work.
No, but the only two movies that I can think that came from M. Night Shyamalan is Old and the Avatar movie. That was a big flop, floppity, flop, flop, flop.
There was one movie we watched in high school. I forget the name of it. It was an M. Night Shyamalan movie, and it was in like 9th grade English, and I truly don't understand why we watched it.
Do you remember what it was about?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
Nope.
clearly
Because it
was
felt like a
useless.
fucking fever dream. Like all M. Night Shyamalan movies do. I'm not saying they're not good, but like it felt like a fever dream that I couldn't understand at 15 years old.
Listen, I like movies every once in a while, but if the only two movies I can remember with your name attached to it are both huge flops, your track record's kind of speaking for you.
I wonder, what movies has he made? We'll look it up.
We're doing research on the podcast.
M. Night
Shyamalan, yep, right there.
movies.
Not your Etsy.
What the hell? What to watch?
Oh, you made Split and Glass. Those are pretty good. I like Split. Actually, no, I don't. They had a weird...
Oh, he made She's All That. Wow, fun.
Split had a weird... I think I watched it the first time. I liked it the first time I watched it, but then I think I kept thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute. That's actually a really harmful display of dissociative identity disorder.
I know the movie I had in it had this... I forget her name.
Not Jesse Heisenberg. Heisenberg?
Yeah, Jessica. Wow, this cast is crazy. It had a certain lady in it who I remember, but I don't remember her name.
Oh my god, Bryce Dallas Howard. I love her.
It didn't.
She's a great actress. He directed Stuart Little?
How do you direct movies called, like... Truly, being a director would be crazy, because you directed Split, Unbreakable, Glass, and then movies like Wide Awake, Stuart Little, and She's All That. He directed The Sixth Sense. Is that the
Did
one where
he?
they, like, I see dead people or whatever?
Yeah, he's a batter, and sometimes he hits home runs, and sometimes he's just straight out.
I thought The Village was the one that we watched in English class. What the fuck? Oh my god. But I don't know. It was truly, I couldn't begin to tell you what it was about. Yeah, it's got to be this one, because I remember they were dressed in like peasant clothes, I guess is what you would call it, like a peasant dress, I think.
I'm really racking my brain. I can't remember who
And, like,
I had
bonnets.
freshman year of high school.
Oh shit, I don't remember her name, but I remember the teacher that I had. She was cool.
Word.
She was really cool. Do you want me to get into my next topic?
Yeah, I'm just giggling over the fact that he directed Stuart Little.
I see dead people, and then you have a fucking mouse who's just like, hey, I'm ready skateboard.
He opens the drawer and he's like, hey!
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Old got 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. These reviews are so bad.
Let's get into the meat of this. This is probably going to be the title, huh? James Charles can't stay out of controversy and can't stop hanging out with young kids.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, M. Night Shyamalan wrote the screenplay for Stuart Little. Sorry.
Fucking God.
Sorry, I had to fact
We
check.
can't get past this. We couldn't get past
I
it
just
yet.
can't fucking wrap my brain around the fact that he worked on Stuart Little.
Also, I'm just realizing I forgot to turn my AC off, but
I'm wearing a sweater. It is crop, though.
if you hear it, that's too bad. Audio's been fine, so.
Yeah. Audio's been great.
James Charles can't stop hanging out with young kids. It's truly a part of his personality at this point and his identity, and I can't take it. So, you want to set up a timeline?
Yes.
May 2019. I'm going to speed through this because truly it makes me so fucking angry every time I talk about it.
Self-love.
Original accusations of sexual manipulation comes out, but he redeems himself. These accusations coming from Tati. No evidence, nothing like that. Also in May 2019, this Instagram model, Gage Gomez, who was 20 years old at the time, accuses James of pressuring him into sexual situations, but James said that they had been talking for several months, like that has anything to do with pressuring someone into a sexual situation.
No, that's just grooming.
you talking to someone for several months has nothing to do with you being accused of this. But this Gage situation comes into play later. June 2020, Tati apologizes, says Shane and Jeffrey gaslit her into believing the accusations about James. Whatever. I'm so curious as to how big of a part Shane and Jeffrey had into it, but we'll never know.
Well, Jeffrey was a huge competitor in James was a huge competitor in Jeffrey's world.
But also Jeffrey made his merch.
But also Jeffrey's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's true. July 2020, he was caught partying during a pandemic and apologized, which I don't buy because you knew it was wrong to party. You just apologized because you got fucking caught by paparazzi. Which I'm sure you didn't even get caught. Most of the time they call those paparazzi anyway. February 2021, so this is a year after, or not a year, but like several months after getting caught partying during a pandemic, 16-year-old boy comes forward, accuses him of grooming and pressuring him into sexual photos. James continues to post after denying that he knew the victim was a minor, which is bullshit because I'm pretty sure this victim had his age in his bio. He very much did not do his due diligence to check this age.
Not that hard, especially when he's fucking with people who are known on the internet. You can be anybody and you can just Google, how old is this person? And it'll just show up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think these were celebrities. They were just like literal fans of his.
Oh, great. So the power play is even better.
Yeah. James sorry for not clarifying that. Yeah. These were fans of his. James continues to post. It takes 3 more males coming forward, one of them 17, who shared screenshots of James flirting with him after he told James his age. James acknowledged that he was a minor and that it was weird for James to be talking to him, and then continued to flirt with him.
I think it's whack. So they're all coming out in 2021. Was all of this going on before he got called out in summer 2020?
We have no idea because he redeemed himself, and then he had all that influencer power until one person came forward with evidence, and then it gave space to all these other people coming forward.
I was just wondering if he got caught and then kept doing it. Not that it makes it any better, because what he did was shitty.
Well, even if you didn't do it the first time, why'd you go ahead and do it this time? It's just ridiculous. So a month later, March 2020, a 15-year-old boy shares screenshots of conversations with James. This 15-year-old claims he was forthcoming with his age, but James disagrees. Not a fucking excuse. The fact that you were attracted to someone who is 15 is weird as fuck.
Admitting that his mindset makes him attracted to younger people.
Yeah, he went on Logan Paul's podcast, I don't know when, and was like, I'm attracted to young men. Like the youngest you can go, 18, 19. Did you not just hear what came out of your fucking mouth? You're attracted to the youngest you can get. And his reasoning for that was so weird, and he was saying, well, I'm mature for my age. If you're mature for your age, you would want someone else who's mature, not someone younger.
And I don't think being mature for your age is an excuse at all. Or like, from getting from A to B. I have a mature headset, therefore I'm gonna date younger people.
No, it makes no sense.
People always said that I'm mature for my age and I date older people.
Yeah, if you're mature for your age, you date older people, not young men.
I don't think it's a mature headset, I think it's a predatory headset.
Young men and boys, because this 15-year-old and 17-year-old. April 1st, 2021, fucking April Fool's Day, he uploads his apology. That's great. You can wait one day.
Of all days to post.
Or you can respond sooner than that. April 9th, 2021, Tana Mojo, who is somehow in every fucking controversy possible, our favorite scam artist, Tana Mojo, says James manipulated her into tweeting at Gage Gomez, who, I'll remind you, accused James of pressuring him into sexual situations. Tana comes forward after James is fallen from public grace. Tana says that James manipulated her into tweeting that at Gage that he was lying, and that it made her sad to see that he was lying. Here's where I'm going to go off on fucking Tana Mojo, and I did this last week, and I'm going to do it again. When your life philosophy is, I'm going to hang around anyone who has clout, or is like popular with the public, and you're just a clout goblin is what she likes to refer to herself as, or other people refer to her as. When that's your reason for being, you're going to be a shitty person, and you're going to say shitty things because you're going to side with anyone who has the influence at the time. And you're never going to look at situations critically, with empathy, like they're fucking humans. These people are just numbers that you can add to your Instagram. Like, this is insane. Not to mention, you scam your fans all the time.
Honestly, dude, she got away with TanaCon too easy.
Yeah, and then she continues to do, like, shitty products and shitty brand deals, and it's like, it's just ridiculous. So that's what I have to say to Tana. Stop thinking that it's fun to joke around about wanting clout and that being your sole, like, drive for life is to get clout, because this is what happens. You completely blasted someone over a situation that they were opening up about, where it was an uneven power dynamic and they were pressured into sexual things, or felt like they were pressured into sexual things, and you did that. You did that because you needed to side with the person who had more followers.
Yeah, when James was climbing off of that No More Lies high, she was totally up his ass because he was, like, the good one of the internet. And she was, like, defending him, this, that, and the next thing. And then as soon as he falls from grace, boom, she's on the public side again. Like, I don't want to be allied with this horrible person.
Yeah. So, in April of 2021 is when YouTube and Morphe finally drop him. I think YouTube, like, demonetized him for 2 weeks and then put his monetization back. He now has a lawsuit with a former producer for unlawful termination. And he uploads his second apology, where he does his makeup while explaining himself for sex or texting with minors.
He opened with, "I don't want this to be a get ready with me apology," and then
But it is!
But it is.
That's exactly what it is.
It's literally what it is.
Um,
I said this last week when we tried to record this podcast, but I don't think it's crazy to be friendly with minors.
No, you don't have to be rude to minors.
You don't have to be rude.
Snapchat, that's another thing. No adult who is talking to you on Snapchat, if you're a minor, has good intentions.
No, but...
Unless it's, like, your family. Like, your mom got Snapchat and it added you for fun. Like, that's completely different.
See, we rekindled our friendship when I was 18 and you were 20? Mm-hmm. 19, 20? I started dating my boyfriend when I was 18, he was 20. I had matured a lot. My headspace changed, and I went through a lot to become a more mature person so that I was ready to date older people. But in no situation should you be talking to a minor so that when they turn 18, you hop on that. You know what I mean?
No.
So
and he didn't even wait till they turned 18.
Didn't even wait when they turned 18. This whole, I'm mature for my age, therefore I date younger people. No mature person's ever going to date a younger person like that. It's just a predatory mindset.
Another thing is him uploading a video making cookies right after this.
He's fitting in. It just sucks so bad for the LGBT community as a whole, because he's fitting right into that predatory gay stereotype, and it's gross.
Awful. It's awful. Also, he had this picture that came out where it was on his story where he tagged a minor who's a YouTuber who does, like, Minecraft YouTube, I think, while he was getting ready, and he was posing like this.
Sexy
in his robe. It's fucking insane. You do that after all of this.
He has not learned.
No, and his fans haven't learned either, because don't think I didn't see the 2 million likes that his photos are still getting. All 2 million of you should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves. Absolutely. You should take a good long look in the mirror and be totally fucking ashamed of yourself that you're supporting that. And the only reason I think people aren't talking about this like they would if it was a, like, straight man is because these victims are males.
Yeah,
and
I was going to say
up.
that you made that point last week, and I think it was a good point, because I was thinking about it when I went home. I think the situation would be a lot different if it was a male predating on women, on girls.
Yes.
Because for all intents and purposes, these kids that are just turning 18, still for the most part children.
Yes, and the reason that James is still being supported is because he is a gay man who is targeting boys. And as a society, because we don't like to talk about, in general, predatory behavior, but especially when the victims are males, it's fucked up.
It just goes under the radar. We just cancel the creator and not think about it again. It's fucked.
We don't even cancel a creator. What does it even mean to cancel someone? Because truly the only consequences he's got is like, oh, Morphe dropped him and YouTube demonetized him for a couple weeks. He should be, controversial opinion, he should be in jail. You need to be in jail. You have done this multiple times. You don't see the issue. You clearly don't learn. And also I want to mention, I got this whole timeline and all this information from a Vulture article from May 12th. So if anything happened past that, I might know, I might not. Like, and then this picture in the arcade too. He took a picture in an arcade where fucking kids hang out, and he's wearing a full white, like, couture designer outfit to an arcade. You're not there to go, like, play some arcade games with your friends.
No, you went there for an Instagram picture. You went there for a cute photo shoot.
And probably to, like, impress some boys there. That's how it feels to me. You needed to wear a designer fucking outfit to play in an arcade. All white? You're gonna get up from that fucking motor car ride and
just have a
like,
stain.
Gum and, like, soda stains all over your shit. Like,
Have fun throwing that $700 fucking outfit away.
So, yeah, this is an anti-James Charles podcast. And
Anti-Tana Mojo.
Anti-Tana Mojo podcast. Stop scamming your fans and stop texting minors.
It's not that hard to do.
Like, it's really
It is not that hard.
You can be kind to your fans that are minors. You don't need to Snapchat them. You don't need to Snapchat them.
It's just not that hard.
And he's like, well, I wanted to meet someone. Did you take any initiative to actually put effort into that? Because if you're single and you want to meet someone, why don't you go, like, I know we're in a pandemic and whatever, but I feel like the best solution is not social media and to go as an influencer on your social medias and to use your fan base as a dating pool.
He's 22 years old. You're not gonna meet the love of your life at this stage. Why can't he just work on his career? Because clearly everything he's done fucked his career. Mm-hmm. This is a big black stain on his career that's never ever gonna go away.
Well, not even, because people are still liking his shit and viewing his YouTube videos.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great that he still gets...
Not to mention this week Shane Dawson has been posting on the internet again. Just on his Instagram stories, but that's been fun.
I did see one video of somebody who reviewed his series with Jeffree Star, and Ryland said something, and he used AAVE when he replied to whatever Ryland said, and the person that was reviewing the videos was like, look at that, Shane Dawson using AAVE. Shows you that some blackface is hard to wash off. And I was like, honestly?
Jaw dropped.
Gagged. Gooped. Like, I mean, it's true.
It is true.
We can't get into Shane Dawson right now because I'm going to have a lot of opinions.
No, that's true. Anyway, fuck James Charles, and I hate him.
Fuck James Charles, Tana Mojo, Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star.
Yep, just the usual suspects. Anyway, we love you, Witchfoot. This is a pro Witchfoot podcast.
This is a pro Witchfoot podcast.
Do you have another topic, or do you want me to...
Do you want to go on break?
Yeah, we can go on break.
Okay. We'll see you when we come back.
You want me to sing our little break song?
Yes.
Every time we touch, I get this feeling, and every time we kiss, I swear I can fly. Can you feel my heart beat fast? I want this to...
All right.
Welcome back!
Welcome back!
We just went live on TikTok for the first time, and it was so fun, and we appreciate everyone who stopped by our lives.
It was kooky crazy.
Kooky crazy time. Goofs, gaffs, and laughs.
Gaffs, laughs.
You want to get into your TikTok drama?
So, I posted a TikTok. Literally at this point, I'm just posting shit to post shit. And I got ratioed in my own TikTok video by this dude that couldn't just... I'm going to delete the comment thread after this. I just wanted to talk about it because it's so funny to me. So, the premise of the video was this guy with, like, you know, the veins. Just huge veins because he works out and he was posting about it. And so, I made a joke about, because I'm bisexual, turning full lesbian after seeing that video. And someone commented, you like legs with veins, but they spelled veins like vain as in conceited. So I said, I liked him to be modest, joking off the fact that he spelled vain wrong. And he responded, modest like put more clothes on? And I said, modest like the opposite of vain. And I left it at that. Like, I just didn't look at the comment section until it had 40 fucking comments in this one goddamn comment thread. And I'm not gonna shout this dude out.
I looked at this shit, and I was like, what is going on this fucking day right here?
Like, I don't know why like, he just spelled veins wrong. I don't know why it had to be a whole thing of you
No, it's a full debate.
It's a full debate. Another commentator comes out of left field correcting him, saying that he spelled veins wrong. And he doubled down, saying that he spelled it right, claiming that it was slang in his area. And then when the person...
Alright, where the fuck are you from?
And that's what this person said, like, where are you from? And then, they came back and they said... Where do you want to know where I'm from, creep? And that's just the sound alarms of you losing an argument.
Yeah.
This person had the time in their day to argue against this other guy. And just fucking fought back. So I went on this dude's account, and I'm like, well, I'm assuming you're Australian because of your Aussie TikToks. It's spelled the same everywhere because it comes from a Latin word, vein.
Virgo did a full research on this.
A full research. And I responded, I said, just admit you had a typo. Like, it's not that difficult. Like, I made fun of your typo and you can let it go. And they keep claiming it's slang. It's not slang. You can't spell vein like
slang
blood vessel.
It's like y'all or something like that.
Yeah, you can't say vein spelled like conceited is slang. It's not what that is.
I'm not good at English. I'm not good with grammar. I'm not good with spelling. But somehow, even I understand this simple concept. And the fact that there's 40 comments and you got ratioed in your own comments, that's hilarious.
And, I just kept making fun of this dude. I said fan behavior to fight for your life in my comments.
I've had people fight in my comments, and I think it's so funny. I joined the fight, too.
And this dude's like, fun. No, I know I'm wrong. I'm just bored and love it when people have me on their minds. And I was like,
we don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are.
Like, we don't, it's not you. It's the stupid shit you just said.
And then this dude, I made that fight for your life comment. And he said, well, I am in the hospital. That's why I'm bored. But damn, I'm not dying yet. And I just responded, okay.
Yeah, we don't need to have sympathy for you because you're in the hospital and you started an argument in the comments. Just saying.
It's just, you're not funny. You couldn't admit that you were wrong. I'm not sorry at all.
So my next point, sorry, I'm reading my notes here. The promotion of the feminine gaze means that men don't need to be the object, but both the man and the woman can switch between being the roles of the object of desire and the subject that desires them. So that's what it means. So, we don't need to always shit on the male gaze. Because it is good in some movies. I mean, sometimes people like being an object of the male gaze. Sometimes, you're feeling yourself, you want some attention. But, female gaze, you just get so much more emotionally out of it.
That makes sense.
I feel like we need to discuss the difference between them. And also, apparently, The Witcher, which you're a fan of, was criticized for the campy fantasy tropes and characters that made women like it. Like, these were the parts of the feminine gaze that were being used, but they were criticized by, like, movie critics and stuff like that.
Like, movie critics as in the movie for The Witcher? Or the show for The Witcher?
Yeah, the movie, I think.
Oh, well, that's a different subcategory. I thought you meant the game.
No.
Well, that makes sense, because Henry Cavill, is that his name?
Yeah.
Homie plays as Geralt, so.
So it's kind of interesting to see how, women will like this movie, but as far as critiquing, do movies get critiqued better if they are meeting with the standards of a male gaze?
When I think of the male and the female gaze, I think of, like, characters written by men or women or masculine or feminine-leaning people in books. Like, I heard this argument that Katniss is a lot of people's favorite woman written by a woman because of the way that she's presented as a flawed character who fucks up a lot, but still just thrives. And her contextual, not like other girls-ness makes sense in the way that she was grown up,
I will also say this. Just because it is written by a woman does not mean it will have the feminine gaze.
Yeah.
There's a difference between masculine desire in a movie as well, and it can still be a movie from the perspective of a female gaze, versus a masculine coded movie, or a masculine coded character. So, like, a woman can be desired by a man in a movie, and it can still meet, kind of the areas of the female gaze. But once a woman is coded to be kind of masculine-like and to have masculine traits, that's when it is not a part of the female gaze.
That makes sense.
So I think, first of all, the fact that we're talking about the female gaze now is great. By the way, if we break, it's because the fucking iPad ran out of storage. I like that we're talking about it more now, and that it's a subject of discussion, but stop talking about it without doing your research on it and understanding the concept of it, because sometimes people talk about the female gaze, and I'm like, nope, just because it was written by a woman does not mean that it is going to appeal to the female gaze.
There are for sure a lot of women that fuck up female characters.
Yes.
That's true.
Looking at you, Sarah J. Maas. Looking at you.
I love Nesta.
I don't know that much about Nesta. I love what I've seen from her. I love mostly characters from the ACOTAR series, but that's an example of one where I'm just like...
Some characters can just not exist. Some characters need to be shown more.
I just don't like Feyre as a main lead.
Thank God she's not the main lead of Solar Flames. Not to get on our ACOTAR.
Yeah, to stay on
gospel.
Subject at least. What do you think, Madison? What do you for this?
When I think of something like this, I think of like camera work, because I really appreciate camera work in TV shows and movies. And like the slow-mo walk-in, cameras panning over to them, and they're just having their moment. I watched this, the people would quote it as the male gaze when it comes to panning on a female character in a specifically sexual moment. Mm-hmm. And I watched this clip from Riverdale where I don't remember her fucking name. I don't watch Riverdale, but one of the characters like walks in and it's all slow-mo and she's being sexy and it's like the whole male gaze, but contextually she's 16. She's a high school character.
Oh, also, yeah, why are you having minors in movies be subjects of the male gaze?
Yeah. And that's specifically what I think about, because typically when it's like the female gaze, they're panning the camera towards something that's important. Like I think
it's like
Cheryl. Her name's Cheryl.
Somebody feels like
sure, in that moment she probably felt like a badass walking in, and she's a part of the gang now or whatever. But it's still a very sexual coded moment because she had like not skimpy but very revealing clothing for a 16-year-old, and to compare that to something else like Loki, I really appreciate Loki because it's so emotionally driven and it's such an emotionally changing time for Loki.
Yeah, like how much action actually happens in Loki. Is it as much shit as cramped into the Avengers? Probably not.
It's so much like storytelling. Like, yeah, there's a lot of good action moments, but it's not an action time until really the ending where they all have to get together their emotional moments and fucking figure themselves out before they can solve the mission. But when I think about camera panning in like the female gaze, it's always like it's all slow-mo and really focused on the character when they're feeling an extreme emotion.
It's like when people will like act with their eyes and shit.
Yeah.
That's what I appreciate about the female gaze. Not saying I won't watch a movie with the male gaze. Also, it does affect you as a young person seeing all these movies that have the male gaze represented, because you're very aware of how men see you after that. You're
extremely aware.
You're very aware of like the impressions that you could be putting off to the men around you, and you have to kind of decode yourself from that.
And it's a very subconscious thing. Like, you don't really think that you're doing it until you're doing it. Of like walking down the street and suddenly you're so conscious of the way you are walking and how people are viewing you. And I didn't even really connect it until I was like, well, in all these fucking action movies I'm watching, she's walking down the corridor, all slow-mo, sexy walking, and now I'm thinking about it and how I'm walking. And I walk with my head to the ground and probably slunched over. Sorry about it.
So at the end of the day, I mean, just because there's more movies with the feminine gaze, and also, little sidetrack, I'm switching between female and feminine because there is some, like, debate about using the term female gaze because gender is complicated. And so I try to use feminine, but when I was introduced to the concept, it was called the female gaze. So that's just what I call it accidentally sometimes. What was I saying before that?
I don't remember.
Smooth brain.
Smooth brain. If you want to talk about what we got in our TikTok comments.
What do we get in our TikTok comments? Oh my god.
We posted a video today asking people to ask us things to talk about on the podcast, and we got 2 comments about queer representation. One of them is just queer rep, and the other one is dating as somebody who just recently joined the bisexual she/her to lesbian debate.
And I don't feel like we should speak on that because we have not joined that pipeline yet.
We are bisexual she/hers. Are you she/her?
Yeah.
We are bisexual she/hers. We are not lesbian she/theys. Can't really speak on that.
But
queer rep, though.
There's just a random cat walking down the street. Okay.
With a rat in its mouth. Girl
Queen.
boss.
Queen. Girl boss, gatekeep, and gaslight. We're not going to speak on that. If you want general dating advice, sure. But I'm not sure I'm the person to go to for that either because...
I love giving advice.
I'm not... dating advice, probably not.
But queer rep... I've got a lot of things to say about queer rep. It's very important to have queer rep in your films, obviously. I don't think that the character should start and end at their sexuality. You know what I mean?
Don't use queer stereotypes.
Don't use the queer stereotypes. What's coming to mind with queer stereotypes is Kurt from Glee. Like, it's fine if a character... like, the... gay man who loves fashion, very flamboyant, dancing to Beyonce in the mirror. To me, as a queer person, it's fine. I don't really mind a character who loves fashion, but to be the gay man who loves fashion gets on my nerves. Like, why can't this character just like fashion?
Yeah.
And it's a very slippery slope when you have a character who is a man love fashion, because then you're automatically falling into that stereotype, and it's very hard to climb out of that stereotype and break stereotypes like that.
You want to talk about this last comment and then wrap this up?
Yeah. The one in red is giving Brittany Broski vibes, and I'm here for it.
The amount of people I've had tell me that I act and talk like Brittany Broski. I'm just a loud woman, and, like, I feel like that's all it is that I'm loud and, like, kind of funny.
What's her sign?
Taurus.
I love that for her.
Yeah, she's cool. I love Brittany Broski. It doesn't offend me, but I'm like, this is weird how much I've gotten it. Anyway, thanks for listening to us talk about the feminine gaze and James Charles. This is an anti-James Charles
I want to tell my story about causing a car wreck.
Okay, you gotta hurry up because we gotta...
No, we've got time. Anyway, Anyway.
I gotta let my fiance out of the room so he can come be in his house.
So the other day I went on a run and I was wearing red leggings and a white shirt, and my dad texts me like a couple hours after I'm done with my run that some coworkers of his were checking me out. And I immediately in a bad mood because I didn't want to hear that. I wasn't feeling it in that moment, and I FaceTime Alex and I'm just screaming. She has live photos of me just yelling into the camera because I'm not having a good time. And my dad comes home that night and he starts telling me about like him telling the story, because admittedly my dad's a very scary fucking dude and he's not above murder. Not that he's done it, but he's not afraid to hurt somebody for me. And this dude was telling him the story because he knows my dad's a scary dude, and he was talking about how he was driving with one, like, in front of another person that my dad worked with who also was checking me out, and he went to go brake check the other dude, and long story short, my ass almost caused a car crash, and ego would not have rested.
I got hit on in Walmart the other day, and this guy was around, like, 35. I never, like, no one ever says anything to me if I'm with someone, but as soon as I'm alone, just men get creepy for whatever reason. And he starts flirting with me, and I'm like, I think you're too old for me, and I'm engaged. Like, I'm good. And he was like, how old do you think I am? At the most, like, 35. But I said, I don't know, like, 52?
Iconic moment, girl bossing, gatekeeping, and gaslighting.
Don't ever kid yourself that you're in my league and that you could ever get with me.
I love to make fun of men. When they're in their prime, like, especially at college parties, when they're in their prime, and they're all walking the walk, they're the cock of the street, and oh.
If your peak is you wearing a Bass Pro Shops hat and Snapchatting your shots, I'm going to say you're probably got a sad life ahead of you. Anyway.
That's the podcast, guys.
That is the podcast for today. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for the love on the TikTok and the, like, 70-something subscribers that have already subscribed. That's insane. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks, Witchfoot.
Thanks,
for
Witchfoot.
letting us talk about you and letting you be my favorite of the week. You're my favorite all the time. And this is a pro Witchfoot podcast.
This is a pro Witchfoot podcast, anti James Charles, Tana Mojo, Shane Dawson, anti all of that podcast, mid Libra podcast. Thank you for listening to us talk about astrology.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Ooh.